What's going on, guys? It's Tanner with Trade Thrive, and I want to talk to you about your marketing, especially if you're in the early stages of your business or you're trying to grow. I want you to get comfortable with paying for leads. Now, listen, everyone gets on me about saying, hey, buy leads from HomeAdvisor, buy leads from AngelList, buy leads from Thumbtack. I want you to understand something very clearly. I am not affiliated with any of these companies, and I hate them just as much as you do. But I don't let my emotions get in the way of my business growing. And right now, these companies are attractive to the marketplace. Now, I want you to first understand the difference between, a HomeAdvisor lead and, of course, a paid lead through like Google or whatever. And I want you to grasp the concept. Obviously, these leads are the most expensive leads because they've already converted the buyer or the potential buyer to be interested in your service, or that buyer's already interested in your service and they trust HomeAdvisor, Angie's List, or Thumbtack, or whoever else you're using to deliver them a quality pro. Now, obviously, that's going to cost more money because as a business, normally it would be our job to advertise and get someone interested in working with us, which would cost money anyway. So for me, when I first started my business, I knew this concept. I knew that I had two options, and this is a funny story, actually. I used to sell life insurance. I used to, have to go out and knock on doors and get people interested in buying life insurance. And if you've never done that, please don't, because it's very difficult and it's very hard. And it was good sales training, but I wouldn't recommend it. So anyway, when I first started my business, this is really my only model of what to do to garnish business. So I went out there and I knocked on doors to get people interested in purchasing a paint job from me. And after about 20 doors, I recognized that I am wasting my time. I had the money to pay for leads, but for some reason, something in me was like, don't spend that money, don't spend that money. And that was because I was coming from an employee mentality. I did work at a bank. I've always been an employee before I started my business. And the employee mentality is whenever we make money, we want to save that money. We've been trained to do that for so long. Now, as a business owner, you have to switch gears. You can't be an employee anymore. You have to see money as a tool for growth. And when you understand that concept, you can grow so much faster. Okay, so you're not coming from a place of scarcity, you're coming from a place of abundance. And that's what I had to learn. So as I'm doing this, as I'm knocking on doors, I'm thinking, I have the money to pay for leads. Now, you don't need a ton of money to really get the momentum going. You maybe only need about $500 to $800. Now, I knew this and I said, you know what, after that 20th door, after 20 people told me no, they weren't interested, I'm thinking, what is going on here? I heard about this HomeAdvisor thing. I heard about paid leads. Let me just give it a shot. And to my, obviously surprise, I was getting notifications on my phone of people that were interested in painting jobs. I'm like, great, I want to paint houses. I don't want to knock on doors. So this will help me get to my goal faster. So from there, the momentum just grew. And yes, was I paying $80 to $100 per lead every single time? Yeah, I was. But what I did was I didn't see it as an expense. I saw it as an investment, and it was, because this was introducing me, number one, to new people who I would have never met. Number two is getting my company's name out there, which was helping us get more reviews and getting us more practice actually painting the houses. Number three, a lot of people don't factor this in, guys. I was meeting people through the leads that I purchased through HomeAdvisor, Angie's List, Thumbtack, again, that I wouldn't have gotten. This is called, obviously, secondary lead flow that to me was free. So, if we take all this stuff into consideration, buying leads is a no-brainer. So what's stopping people? Well, what's stopping people is, again, we're coming from that scarcity mentality and we're not tracking our results. Now, if you're a business that's growing and you're trying to get to another crew or trying to get 5 to 6 jobs a week and you don't have a canvassing team out there knocking on doors for you, which, that model works for specific people. But for me, I would rather take the money that I would be paying these people to go canvass and just find people that are interested in my services right off the bat, guys. And that is why I invest in paid leads. Now, it doesn't always have to be HomeAdvisor. For me, in the beginning of my business, 95% of all leads that I purchased was through HomeAdvisor. The other 5% was just me blasting out, through Facebook groups or people in my local network. This was my plan in the beginning, and we abundantly grew. We never went a week without work. So as our company grew from that point on, we stopped using HomeAdvisor more and more. So we would use Google. I got into Google ads, and then I used SEO. I did some SEO work, and then now we're into Facebook heavily, and we're able to do this because, number one, we can diversify. We learn the game. We know when to turn on our HomeAdvisor leads. We know when to turn on our Facebook leads. We know when to turn on SEO or, put more money into SEO and Google ads and all that stuff. So we learn the game for each of these avenues, which allows you to be strategic with your spending. So not only that, guys, the beauty of all this is, guys, and we're only in year 4, is that word of mouth is starting to kick up because we've been in almost every area around our town, thanks to the expedited paid lead services getting us out there in those areas. So, I wanted to clear the air for you, because a lot of people say, I don't want to spend money on paid leads. I don't want to buy leads. To me, buying leads is, the lazy way to do it. Well, either way, you're spending money on leads. However you slice it, you're either spending it through, maybe mailing advertisements or knocking on doors. Your time is valuable. If you're out there knocking on doors, you're spending money. You just don't know it. You could be making money that time that you're actually wasting trying to canvas people to get interested in your work, when people can be sent to you directly, guys. And I want you to change the wireframe, because a lot of the people that follow me are really only operating 1 to 5 people, and you haven't gotten to a point where you need 5 to 8 jobs a week to sustain your business. And you have to get comfortable with paying for leads if you're going to do this. I don't care who you are. I don't care how customer service oriented you are. I don't care how great of work you do. In the first 1 to 4 years of your business, if you are keeping 2 crews or more busy and you need 5 to 7 jobs, there's no way you can survive on word of mouth alone. I would love for someone to prove me wrong, and I'm not trying to say this the wrong way, but what I'm trying to say to you is that paid leads is the best way to sustain your company, to continue to grow in an expedited way, to where you don't have to wait for that feedback loop to come around, and that feedback loop is representative of word of mouth. Now, I love word of mouth. They're the best leads you can get, but for us, we're still trying to grow exponentially, and we're not going to wait for word of mouth to come around. I know it's going to come around. I can see the transition. I can see how I'm spending less and less and less on HomeAdvisor, less and less on advertising, less and less, and that word of mouth is coming around, guys. So in the first 1 to 5 years of your business, stop seeing paid leads as a bad thing. Year 6, if you do a phenomenal job and you have a great online reputation, and more and more people get to know who you are, that is when you could scale down those paid leads. That's when you could take that money that you would normally have spent on paid leads and invest in managers and all that stuff. So I kind of wanted to clear the air, because a lot of you guys who are starting out have this bad stigma, this bad idea about paid leads, and what's going to do is it's just going to inhibit your growth. Eventually, you're going to cave in, because there's going to be a week where you don't have work, and you're going to kind of get a little anxious, and you're going to say, oh, let me give HomeAdvisor a shot, and then you're going to get frustrated when HomeAdvisor doesn't give you the results that you want. And it's not that they're sending you bad leads, it's your approach. There's a game that is to be played with paid leads. You have to understand that you're going to be competing with 1 to 5 people for the same job. So how do you separate yourself, guys? And you guys know that I'm always about teaching you how to separate yourself, but I would say that if I were to give you one tool for watching this video all the way through, for listening to this all the way through, if I could give you one tool to help you capitalize on paid leads, it's to be the first one to contact them. And we set up automations to help you do that. Okay, so if you're interested in learning about that, we have a free training at tradethrive.com to show you how we can help you be the first one to contact these leads that come in without you having to pick up the phone. That's how we do it, and it's been a tremendous help in helping us separate ourselves from the competition. But aside from that, get comfortable with paid leads. Don't think of them as a bad thing. Think of it as a growth mentality. Get out of the employee mindset and start becoming an investor as a business owner. You guys are great. Thank you for your time today. If you got something out of this, please share it with a friend, tag someone, ask me a question, put a comment below, like it. I appreciate all the support. Thank you, guys.